Hey Nancy!
Hi Tim.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah.
So you look freaking amazing.
Thank you.
Still, how many months has it been since the wedding?
It's like 4 months ago.
So hey, look at this. This is the glowing, flowing wedding gown right here. That's pretty dumb.
You are now listening to the Health Hero Show with Tim James.
What's up, Health Heroes? Tim James here, founder of ChemicalFreeBody.com and your host for the show that simplifies and demystifies how to live an energetic life with a flat belly. So if you're into a healthy gut and staying young, then this is the show for you. Welcome back to another episode of the Health Hero Show with Tim James, founder of ChemicalFreeBody.com. I'm really super excited and pumped to share this episode with you today and this information about daily detoxing. In the last 9.5 years, through my own transformation and coaching over 600 people personally with health issues or with athletes wanting to improve their athletic performance, and even people dealing with late stage, serious health issues, what I've learned is that the detoxing, this daily detoxing, is probably the first step, the most important thing you can do to transform your health and get what you want. And here's the reason why, guys. It's because you have to look at the body like a car. If just pretend like if you're driving down the road in your car, right, and the check engine light comes on, right, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I got to get my car into the shop. Now, why do you want to do that? Because you know that if you keep driving that car with that check engine light on, two things is going to happen. Number one, when you finally do get it in there, you could have a huge repair bill. So it's going to be very expensive, and it could have been something you could have taken care of when you had that first sign of a warning. The second thing that could happen is you'd be driving that car down the road, and you just keep driving it with the check engine light on, and the car will die on you, and you're going to be stranded, okay? And that's what's happening with our bodies today and our health, is that we have these signs showing up, like if you have low energy and you're having to stimulate yourself with coffees and new energy drinks and stuff like that. You've gained some weight like I did in the past. I was 38 pounds overweight. If you're carrying around extra weight, leads to disease. Anything. If you're on medications, if you're not sleeping well, if you had skin issues like I had eczema all over myself, any of these problems, these are what I call check body lights. Check body lights, okay? And these check body lights are like the check engine lights, all right? So we have to pay attention to them. So now that if you have any of those check body lights that we just discussed, then daily detoxing could be one of the most important things. I know it is, because you want to take your body, the car, into the shop, and you want to flush the engine. You want to flush the transmission fluid. You want to put in new spark plugs, new wires, put in some new good oil, some really good fuel, and then maintain that car and take care of it. And the daily detoxing that I'm going to show you today is going to be you taking your body into the shop and getting it tended to, so that it can provide for you a good vehicle so that you can do what you want in your life, so you can be physically active throughout your entire life and go on hikes and play with your grandkids and be able to play with your kids and have the energy to play with your kids after work and follow your passion, your highest excitement, start that business, whatever it is, play in sports at the top levels. This is why you want to take care of your body, and that's why daily detoxing is so important. So let's get into the two main areas that I've noticed that are probably the most important after working with all these people in the coaching program. And the first area is detoxing the mind. Okay, we were growing up with, lots of negative stuff and negative people probably around you. You could probably remember maybe a few teachers, a few coaches, maybe some family members, people like this. And there's a lot of negativity. I mean, just turn on the news, right? I mean, it's crazy. And there's just a lot of negativity out there. And we also have a lot of stress, okay? Stress, in fact, 90% of all hospital visits are related to stress. Stress is a major killer in the world today. And then the last thing is these past traumas. You might have had something happen to you as a child, And, this needs to be dealt with. And in our coaching program, what we do is we help people detox that by reframing it and using it to power them up rather than be a limiting belief that's pulling them down and not letting them realize their full potential. So detoxing the mind is going to be very important. And today what I want to share with you is I'm going to give you a breath work exercise that you can do. And then after that, we'll get into the second part, which is detoxing the body on a daily basis, which is really cool. So, all right. So when you detox the mind, the first thing is just spending some time with yourself and realizing, what part of my environment is producing stress? What part of my environment is negative that I could change? Maybe instead of watching the news, you could watch, something else that's more positive. Maybe it's more something that you like, or maybe just avoid it altogether and read a book, or maybe get into meditation, or go for a walk, or go do a yoga class or something like that. So the breath work that I'm going to share with you today is so important because it works. Now, what I want you to do right now is I want you to think about, on a scale of 1 to 10, now, how stressed out are you? All right, a 1 would be you're completely mellow, you're feeling good, no problems, and 10, you're just stressed out to the max, completely, you're just a nervous wreck. Okay, so where are you at on that scale? First response, give yourself a number. All right, now that you have that number, that's great. Now we're going to do some breath work. So for those of you that might be listening in a car, probably not a good idea to be doing breath work with your eyes closed. So keep your eyes open, or just pull the car over, and you can do this with me. And it takes like a minute to do this, minute and 24 seconds. I call it balloon breath, and I learned it from a yoga instructor, and I like it, and it works really good. And what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in through the nose pretty powerfully, and then you're going to suspend the breath for a second, and then you're going to release it out through the mouth, just like you're blowing up a big, huge balloon. And as you're letting that out, and then you're going to end with your lungs completely emptied, and then you're going to pause at the bottom. Now, by doing this work, you're going to be able to release a lot of tension. So go ahead and breathe in through the nose again. Pause, and then release out through the mouth. You can close your eyes if you like, unless you're driving. Let it all go. Nice, long, slow flow out through the mouth. Pause at the bottom. And then back in through the nose. Suspend your breath. And then release out through the mouth. Releasing any tension, any stress, any worries. It'll be all waiting for you when you get done. Hopefully not as much. Pause with your lungs completely emptied. And then back in through the nose. And then pause. And then release. And you just repeat that process. Now, typically what we teach people to do is pause for 1 second on the first breath at the top and the bottom, 2 seconds on the second breath, top and bottom, and work your way up 3, 4, 5, 6. And the goal or guideline that you'd want to look towards be about 15 of these breaths. You might only be able to do 5 or 6 or 7. This strategy that I'm sharing with you is one of the most powerful strategies, one of the most powerful tools that you have to help you with stress, to help you bust through the negativity, to help you bust through depression. And now, after you do this, I want you to think about that number. After you did this breath work, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you're super mellow and 10 you're completely wigged out, where are you at right now? Right? Simply doing that breath work, you can see it makes a big impact. I mean, I have people that have full-blown social anxiety, and they're on a level 8, and we do that breath work for 1 minute and 24 seconds, and go up 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 counts, and they're down to a 4 or 5. Think about that. They're going to pay a lot of money to take drugs to try to get from an 8 to a 4 or a 5. And in 1.5 minutes, you can freaking do that with your breath work. It's a big deal. It's very powerful, and it doesn't cost you anything. It just takes you loving yourself enough to invest a little bit of time into yourself to do this. You can do it, out in your car. You can do it you can go to a break room. You can do it at your house anytime you feel stressed. And it's also an awesome thing to do before you eat to improve your digestion. So that's it. So the second thing with detoxing the mind is really watching your language. Language is very important. Words matter. And, if you're the type of person that's like, I'm I can't do anything right. Nothing works out for me. I'm super stressed. I'm worrying about everything. I can't do it. That type of language, if you think about it, how do you actually talk to yourself? So how do you talk to yourself? What do you say to yourself verbally and non-verbally in your thought patterns and in your words? And I think what you'll find out is most of the people, in my experience, we're really negative to ourselves. In fact, we're so negative to ourselves, if we treated other people like we treat ourselves, probably nobody'd be hanging out with us. I mean, it's that bad on what we're doing. So what I do in my coaching program with my clients is we start having them pay attention to their language and monitoring that and being the gatekeeper of what they say and what they think. So you have to make a conscious effort of this in the beginning. And then after a while, you'll start catching yourself like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this stuff to myself. And then you start consciously making those changes and giving yourself new words like, this is going to be tough, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. I can Google things. I can pick up a book and read. I'll figure it out. This is going to be easy. Things are always working out for me. See, that type of language is going to get you a lot farther down the road than the negative language. And at the same time, you're going to have a much better experience because when you say those negative things to yourself, you can go ahead and rate yourself on that 1 to 10 scale. And then turn around and say a bunch of positive things about yourself and rate yourself, and you'll see how I feel. You literally change. With you change your language, you're literally changing the frequency in your body and your happiness levels. So it's really, really powerful. And then the last part of detoxing the mind is really focusing on these past traumas, really going back to your childhood or maybe in a relationship. And I really had no clue how many people are dealing with these past traumas until I started doing this coaching program because, I grew up, I didn't have a lot of past traumas. My mom and dad pretty much got along. They had a few arguments here and there. It was no big deal. But, there's so many people that have traumas. I could tell you lots of them, being thrown off a roof, 10 years old, thrown through a window, thrown over a fence, slapped, raped, molested, all kinds of stuff that people are dealing with that is heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. And for them to move forward with their life, what I've realized is what we've had to do is we've had to help them look at that and then realize that, that was in the past and it doesn't affect how they're going to move forward today, that we actually can reframe that and look at it as a positive because that's going to give them a strength and a power that other people aren't going to have. So when you go down deep into the darkness, into the underbelly of dealing with stuff like that, it's like, you're heading down and there's a lot of momentum going down. But also when you hit the bottom, guess what? That momentum's going to shoot you back up. So the person that had this tremendous trauma like that also has the potential and the energy to actually go up as high on the other end and be able to help other people in that situation because they are so passionate about not wanting anybody else to feel how they feel. So those are the three things that we would talk about when we're talking about detoxing the mind, because you got to get the mind right first. The body stuff's easy, and we're going to get into that real soon when we come back from the break. But you got to get the mind right first. That's so important. And once you get the mind right, the body will follow, and we'll show you how to get the body going and rocking and rolling and doing a daily detox in your body when we come back. So I'll see you again real soon.
If you want more energy by getting rid of heavy metals, radiation, and harmful chemicals in your body, try Critical Cleanse. We offer Critical Cleanse on our auto ship program for greater savings.
Okay, we're back, and today we're talking about daily detoxing. Now we're going to get into part 2 about daily detoxing for the body and why this is working so well for all of our coaching students and why it's worked so well for me. And basically what I do is I work on myself. I'm on a mission to get as healthy as I can, be as vibrant as I can, because a little over 9.5 years ago, I had really, really poor health, and I was able to turn it around. And a lot of the reasons why I was able to turn it around was because I got really interested and curious about this detoxing stuff because it just kind of made sense. We talked about this earlier. If your car's not running right and you got the check engine light on, you don't just go put good fuel in it. You take it into the shop and you flush out all the engines and all the stuff, and you get out the transmission fluid and you put in new stuff and replace things. So you got to get that stuff cleaned out so the car or your body's going to run well. So why do we need to detox today? Well, today, more than ever, we need to detox because of the amounts of pollution and toxins. I mean, the list will go on and on and on. You've got pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, larvicides, all these things they're spraying on these crops. Roundup, which is an herbicide, which has glyphosate in it. I mean, they're finding glyphosate in almost like, it's like over 70% of rainwater today. This is a problem. Like, I mean, it's bad. I mean, we're talking about, you go 1,500 miles into the interior, into lakes, pristine lakes where there's no human beings at all, and the little 2 to 2.5 inch fish have both male and female organs. And why? Because of the estrogen mimickers from plastics that have been off-gassing from plastic garbage and waste that's, gets into the ecosystem, gets up into the clouds, and ends up, 1,500 miles in the interior. All amphibians and creeks and rivers and streams and lakes today are polluted at some level. So basically, and it doesn't end there. I mean, household products, your detergents, your shampoos, your toothpaste. If your toothpaste says harmful if swallowed on the label, you've probably got some toxins in there. Why would they put harmful if swallowed on the label and then sell it to you and put it in your mouth every day, once or twice or 3 times a day, however many times you brush your teeth? Automobile exhaust, jet fuel, rubber compounds coming off of tires. Where does the rubber go? It goes in the air. We breathe it in. It ends up getting into our system and our body. And don't take my word for it. All you have to do is type in umbilical cord and the word chemical, and you'll see the studies going back to 2005 that show every single child that's born that they've tested, where they've looked for harmful toxins and chemicals and these things we're talking about here, it's already in the blood. I mean, it's already there. They're finding well over 250 man-made toxins in the umbilical cord blood of young mothers and these newborn babies. That's what scientists and doctors are referring to as a body burden. So we're born into this today. And so what are we going to be doing about it? Well, we understand, I guess we just have to take a breath here, and we have to understand that we live in a world today that's polluted. We're like a goldfish in a fishbowl, and the water's polluted, and we want to clean it up. We want to clean up our body. So that's where daily detoxing really gets into it, because every day that we breathe, we drink, and we eat, and our skin comes into contact with things, toxins are coming into our body. So daily detoxing is creating a lifestyle of waters and food and breath work and movement and exercise and different household products that will serve your body rather than to tear it down and destroy your immune system. So that's all it really is. It's really just changing your environment. So when we're talking about daily detoxing, I think the first thing that we really need to focus on is the pathway of elimination, which is the gut, and the small intestine and the large intestine. So this thing has been polluted. It's so bad today that the average person is packing around 6 to 12 pounds of impacted fecal material and mucoid plaque lining the small and large intestine. Now, this stuff is very acidic. It breeds an environment for harmful organisms, which we'll talk about later. And it's just not a good thing. And all these toxins are in there. So the average person's walking around with this in them. I went to the Hippocrates Health Institute, and they taught us about colon hydrotherapy. In fact, they taught a class called Internal Awareness. It was 3.5 hours, which I'm giving you bits and pieces of that today. And after learning about that, I was like, man, I got to get that junk out of me. Like, if I want to feel good, I don't want that garbage inside of me. And that's what it really was. It was polluted garbage that had built up in my system from my poor eating habits on the standard American diet. So colon hydrotherapy is a water-based therapy that where they put a tube in you rectally, and water goes in and out for about an hour. And they weigh you before you go in and after you come out. And I dropped 10 pounds of impacted fecal material and mucoid plaque in just that 50-minute session. And I felt a lot lighter and I felt a lot better, and it just blew me away. In fact, I was just reading an article the other day that when they're doing autopsies and stuff like that on people that passed away or down at the funeral homes, average person's got somewhere between 10 to 20 pounds of that stuff in them. So, that's probably why they got there earlier. Let's get that stuff out. So the first thing that you can do is you can go get a colon hydrotherapy session. I totally recommend it. It's a safe, gentle way to do. Just get a good practitioner. You can just type in colon hydrotherapy or colonics into your browser and find somebody locally and go get a couple sessions back to back. One on day one and one on day two. And the reason why you want to do that is because on day one you're going to really sweep out the colon, and then on day two it's going to, all the stuff from above is going to come down. Your liver and your gallbladder is going to fire, and it's going to dump toxins, and it's going to fill back up again. And you want to sweep that out again on day two. Also, listen to your colon hydrotherapist. They're experts. They know what they're doing. But this is what's been working, what I learned, and what's worked for me and a lot of my clients, especially in the beginning. Day one, sweep it out. Stuff comes down. Day two, sweep it out again. Because if you don't, you have this vein in your large intestine called the hepatic vein, and then those toxins are going to go right back up into your liver, and they're going to recycle, and it's going to make you feel tired and lethargic, and you have these detox symptoms. So if you don't want to feel that, just sweep it out twice, and you're good to go, and you're going to feel amazing. Now, another thing that we do to help people clean out the digestive tract is water. And it's just that simple. It's the main ingredient in our body. Water is so important, and 95% of us are not drinking enough of it. How do I know this? Because I've benchmarked over 600 people in our coaching program and asked them that question, and only 5% of people are drinking enough water to be healthy. It's foundational. And your digestive tract needs to be hydrated to work properly. And this is one of the big problems that led to where I got leaky gut syndrome. The Royal Society of Medicine said that 85% of all disease starts in the colon. And I totally agree with that, because what happens is that when you're dehydrated and your cells and your body and your brain does not have enough water in it, the first place that your body's going to go for water is the colon. So if you're dehydrated, like 95% of the people are that I've talked to, then most likely your colon's dehydrated. And then that's where the colon starts getting impacted. It starts breeding this toxic environment because there's not enough fluid in there. It's very dry compared to what it should be. And then you're not going to have good elimination. And then things are going to start backing up. And then, after the years go by, you end up with 6 to 12 pounds of all that funk and gunk and junk lining the colon. And it's pretty gross, and it's making you feel like crap, and it's lowering your energies, and it's stopping you from losing the weight that you want to lose and competing at good levels. And it probably could be cause, for those of you that are dealing with some serious health issues, it could be the epicenter of all of your problems. So getting that colon clean and getting it hydrated are very important. We recommend you drink half of your body weight in liquid ounces of purified water daily. That's the key word, purified. It must be purified. That's either reverse osmosis, distillation, or deionization. Those are the 3 purification systems that I know. If you have questions about purification systems, you can always send us an email at info@chemicalfreebody.com. I've got a connection with a lady that sold me my water system, and I've also got a connection with another guy up in Canada that has whole house systems, water softeners, all kinds of cool stuff that are like way outside the box that work really good. And you can put those two things together, and we'd be happy to help you out with that. So, because if you're going to be drinking a lot of water, you want it to be purified, because the tap water today is pretty bad in some areas, in most areas. I mean, we're talking a gallon of tap water in some cities in the United States has up to, a half a tablet of pharmaceutical drugs in it, combination. I mean, it's pretty gross, not to mention all the other stuff that's in the water today. So, okay, so water is going to be huge. It's going to be number one, half your body weight in liquid ounces daily. So if you weigh 200 pounds, 100 ounces, that's important. If you weigh 100 pounds, it'd be 50 ounces a day of water, and then you're going to good to go. And then those bowels are going to start moving better, and you can have better elimination, and that's going to be really important as you start doing some of this other stuff. So another thing that I wanted to share with you, which is really important, is that in our program, we've realized that a lot of people aren't just going to go get that colon hydrotherapy thing. they're just not going to do it. They don't want to talk about that area. They don't want to do it. They're scared about it. They'll go online. They'll read something where somebody got their colon punctured. And there's a lot of fear mongering out there. But this is like something simple that's been going on. So my formulator, Dr. Treadway, and I talked to him about this. And I said, we got to clean people out. So initially we were using like a magnesium-based supplement that just liquefied all that impacted fecal material and mucoid plaque and just whoosh. But people had like diarrhea for like 5 days, but it got the job done. It was a little rough, but it got the job done. And then we would start recolonizing with good bacteria, with the probiotics and the prebiotics, like the spore-based formulas that we have. But Dr. Treadway said something. He said, look, that magnesium stuff you're doing is really great, but what you really need to do, Tim, is like you need to. I have a formula that I brought back from India. It's thousands of years old. It's way more gentle. It's non-habit forming, and everybody needs to be on it. In fact, in those clinics over there where he did his practice, he said nobody left the clinic, no matter what they came in for, without being on this formula. It's 3 raw fruits. It's unbelievably gentle. There's no diarrhea. So for those of you that are not going to do colon hydrotherapy, what you do is you take 3 of these. You just follow the instructions for the 15-day detox or the 15-day cleanse. You take 3 of these in the morning on an empty stomach, and you take 3 again in the evening on an empty stomach, and you do that for 15 days. The bottle's gone, and then after that, you just take 3 in the morning for maintenance. And that product's called Gut Cleanse Plus. You can find it at our store at chemicalfreebody.com. It's sub-basement foundational because, again, this is like your gut and your organ mechanic. Not only does it keep the digestive tract clean, it cleans on the microscopic level on those little intestinal hairs, those villi is what they're called, but it's also long-term, it's going to keep your organ systems clean. It's like a little mechanic, like a gut and organ mechanic. So when your body's not working right and you got these check body lights, overweight, fatigue, tired, whatever, first step, take your body in the shop. That's your mechanic right there for the gut and the organ systems. And that's really important. Another thing that we do for digestion and elimination is Green 85. I literally changed myself. I rebuilt myself with juicing. Okay, I bought a $600 juicer and I made 2 juices a day. We need to get good vital nutrition, concentrated nutrition to our bodies simply because 85% of the nutrition has been farmed out of our soils today. So we have to replace that. We have to supplement that today to replace what's missing in our soils and what's missing in the food chain. And not only that, but in these concentrated green juices, you have what's called chlorophyll. And you have other things like we have green algae in here, or chlorella. These are great detoxifiers for the blood, but chlorophyll is just a great detoxifier for the blood and also for the digestive tract. It just cleans everything out very gently. And so we recommend these 2 together, the Green 85 juice formula and that Gut Cleanse Plus product. Those 2 together are going to be really convenient for you and simple and easy. It's literally 1 minute in the morning and you go to work. You don't even have to think about changing your diet yet or exercising. You have to start with the basics, and you got to get this daily detox thing done because you're important and your health's important. And you'll see, it just freaking works. The average person is going to drop about 6 to 12 pounds of that impacted fecal material mucoid plaque during the first 15 days doing this, where you take this in the morning with this, and then take this in the evening, and then we do this again in the afternoon about half an hour before dinner. So that's it. Okay, so we talked about that. Now, what else is good for your pathway of elimination? Fruits and veggies, right? Eating more fruits and vegetables. If you want to have better health, better digestion, better elimination, you want to be doing more detoxing, more fruits and veggies. And why? Because fruits and vegetables have a lot of fiber in them. Very important, very important. And most people are not getting enough fiber because of the cooked, processed, irradiated, and pasteurized foods that are out there. It's not our fault. That's just the environment we live in. You go to the store. It's just really hard to find fresh stuff. In fact, think about the inner cities. It's really hard for people in the inner cities to get their access to fresh food, that connection to Mother Earth, that vital life force that's in fresh foods that you can get out of a garden or you can get it out in the wild. And we're just not getting it. And that's why people are having so many health issues today, even our children. In fact, the statistics are really getting scary because people 35 and younger are now sicker than people 35 and older by demographic. Okay, so where are we at? All right, so that's the pathway of elimination. We believe that that's the first most important part. Now, the second area is the blood, the fat, and the muscle tissue. These toxins, these man-made toxins, the pesticides, the fungicides, the BPAs, the plastics, all these things are going to accumulate in your blood and your fat and your muscle tissue. So that stuff needs to be swept out. How do you get that stuff out? Well, lots of water. Okay, again, water is going to be the number one thing, is just getting lots of water in your body. Your body's mostly made of it, and getting that water in your body so your body can start flushing this stuff. And your body's smart. It's very intelligent. As it starts realizing that you're going to have more water coming in, it's going to start releasing things that's in the blood. It's going to release things that are in the fat, and it's going to release things that are in the muscle tissue and get it out, because it's got an opportunity now. It's like, oh, hey, the river's frozen. I can put the boats in and get this stuff out of here. Garbage has been piling up for quite some time. Let's get it and get it out of here. And your body will recognize that when you drink a lot of water. So important for your blood, your fat, and your muscle tissue to get these toxins out. Again, water, you get a lot more water in your body. It's going to change your life. I can't emphasize that enough. Now, to help out with this, these toxins, these heavy metals, the radiation today that we're exposed to, and these toxins that you can't see. I call them the no-see-ums because they're microscopic. You can't see them. But again, go to the umbilical cord chemical, type that in, and you can see that when they test the blood of brand new babies, they're completely polluted. So when I realized that, I was like, oh my God, we're all polluted. I'm polluted. You're polluted. Everybody's polluted. So what are we going to do about it? So our second detox product is called Critical Cleanse. Critical Cleanse was originally 2 formulas that Dr. Treadway did for the military to help them with depleted uranium poisoning from the depleted uranium that was on tank rounds over there. And it'd blow up, and they're sweeping the area a day later, and they're breathing all that toxins and stuff. Plus, there's a lot of burning trash in wartime, and lots of shots that they were exposed to, and there's a lot of toxins in it. Critical Cleanse formula helps to pull out the heavy metals, the radiation, and these man-made toxins and chemicals. And again, it's really simple. What I do every morning is I take 3 of these with my 3 Gut Cleanse Plus, and I drink it down with the Green 85, and I'm literally I'm out the door. I'm gone. It takes 1 minute. That's how you do a daily detox. You gotta make it simple. You have to make it very easy for people. This whole thing was designed in this because in the beginning, I did it the hard way. I did the colon hydrotherapy sessions, which I still think you should do, and I bought a juicer, and I juiced twice a day, and I was doing other things. So, so many people think that they have to make detoxing and cleansing so difficult, like you have to do a 7-day juice fast, or you have to do a 10-day juice cleanse, or you have to take all these herbs and do this stuff. And what I've realized is that stuff's good. It really is. I went through that in the beginning because I went from standard American diet to the Hippocrates Health Institute, all raw living foods and raw living juices. So that was just like completely different, changed my world. And what happened was the first few days wasn't fun. I was tired. I was fatigued. I had night sweats. I was irritable. It was terrible. I saw people with rashes breaking out as the toxins and the pollution started coming out of their body. Like some people had rash all over their body. Very uncomfortable. In fact, I had a personal trainer here when I first started helping her. She had a rash breaking out on her neck when she was detoxing. And I saw one lady at the institute had a parasite crawling out of her freaking eye, coming out of her eye. Changing the environment to alkaline and high oxygen is not good for harmful organisms. They don't like it. They don't like that stuff at all. So they leave and they exit. All right. So the pathway of elimination, we talked about that. We talked about the blood, the fat, and the muscle tissue. That's area number 2. We got to get the toxins, the radiation. And how do we do that? Lots of purified water. The Critical Cleanse formula, and again, eating lots of fruits and veggies. It's so more important. Just add lots of fruits and veggies. And when we get back, we're going to wrap up with the last area of detoxing, doing the daily detoxing, and then how the body gets rid of all this stuff. And we'll see you right after the break. Hi, I'm health coach Tim James from ChemicalFreeBody.com. We're offering you a great opportunity to try our health coaching for free. So click on the Get Offer button to book a free 30-minute health coaching call. Also, as a thank you for booking with us, I'm going to give you this free copy of our Gut Detox Guide for you to download. This is a $67 value. You're going to love it. We use it with all our coaching clients. I use it myself. So book your health coaching call right now, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, we're back, and we're going to start getting into the third area of this daily detoxing or cleansing, whatever you want to call it. And that third area is harmful organisms, viruses, bacteria, mold, yeasts, funguses, and parasites. Things that, we know are there, but a lot of people aren't really connected to them. They don't know how bad it can be. And I'm telling you, it's like it can be your problem. Like it could be the root cause of your problem. Because we've had people do, like in our coaching program, do like everything right, change their lifestyle, change their diet, everything, and they improve at some level. But we find out that they might have some super mold toxicity lining their intestinal tract, and that has to be dealt with. So I'll kind of get into that today, and I'm really excited to share this information with you because it's really important, to learn about this stuff and to learn how to get it out of the body so that the immune system can skyrocket and you can get your energy back, get your life back, lose that weight, and do what you need to do. So these harmful organisms, what I want you to think about is, how do they get there in the first place? Well, it's kind of like, let's say you're in the streets of New York, right, in the residential areas, and people put their garbage out in the street, and then the garbage truck comes and it removes the garbage. That's it. The alleys are clean. Next week, the garbage, people make food and all that stuff. Their garbage can fills up. They put it back in the alley again. The garbage truck comes. But then the next week, the garbage truck company goes on strike, and they're not going to go pick up any garbage. What happens? Do those people stop eating? Do they stop changing diapers? No. They keep doing that, and then they pile the garbage up in the alley, but the garbage truck doesn't come. And every week it just keeps piling up because they're on strike and ain't coming. And then guess what? As that garbage accumulates and piles up, then what comes in? The rats. The rats come in because of the garbage. The environment in the alley changed. It changed, and so did who's living there, being the rats. And then what did the rats bring in with them? They brought fleas. You get enough of that stuff, you get bubonic plague that we've had in the 20s. And this is bubonic plague is like, it's starting to happen again in like LA and places like this because of so much trash accumulating in the rats. So anyway, you see what I'm saying? Rats, trash, harmful organisms, fleas, all these things are buildups of a poor environment. So all we have to do is you think about it. If you have garbage accumulated in your intestinal tract, and if you have garbage and pollution accumulated in your blood and your fat and your muscle tissue, toxins, then it's just like the garbage truck companies have been on strike, and it needs to be, you gotta get them back to working again, right? And how you do that is what we were talking about earlier today. Drinking lots of water. This is like, setting out some garbage trucks. Taking your Gut Cleanse Plus, taking Critical Cleanse, drinking your green juices twice a day, eating lots of fruits and veggies. And the other thing that you can do to get this stuff out is the last step is, which I want to share with you, is like, how does this stuff leave the body? Okay, Tim, I'm going to start drinking water and I'm going to start eating more fruits and veggies, and I'll take some of these products and stuff's moving. Well, there's 4 areas of elimination for guys and 5 for women. You have defecation, you have urination, you have perspiration, and you have respiration. And for women, they also have their menstrual cycle. So they have a 5th pathway of elimination. I believe that's one of the reasons why women live longer, is because they're eliminating every month deeply and getting more of this garbage out of their system, right? So let's get the garbage truck company back rocking and rolling and do this stuff. Now, the major system in the body and how all this stuff leaves is called the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system in the body is like your cardiovascular system. It's like a whole, it's like a whole bunch of piping inside of your body. and its job is to remove toxins and waste. The lymphatic system is your garbage removal system. What does it work on? It works on water, it works on oxygen, and it works on movement. Now, the heart pumps the cardiovascular system to push our blood to all of our working muscles and our tissues and keep us vital. But the lymphatic system, it gets pumped by our movement. So this is where a critical piece comes into play, is that movement is going to be essential for you to be able to detox on a daily basis and get that body moving. So we know the lymphatic system works on water. We've talked about that in length today. Your body's mostly made of it. Drink lots of water, and not only are you going to hydrate your cells, but you're going to hydrate that lymphatic system. So as these toxins and as this garbage is coming out of the body, it has a river to push it out. Number 2 is the oxygen. There's oxygen in water. Taking deep breaths and breathing, getting out in nature, crack on your window at night when you're sleeping, pump your body full of oxygen. That's also going to help the lymphatic system. And then the last thing is movement. Movement is so important. Now, the rub that I get for people in the beginning is that a lot of them aren't even exercising at all because they don't like it, or they don't have the energy to do it. Okay? That's just simple. If I had the energy, Tim, I'd go exercise. So there's 2 things that I want to share with you that are going to be very important with this daily detox. Number 1, exercise in the beginning is not the first step. The first step is drinking the water, doing the colon hydrotherapy sessions, or getting on this Gut Cleanse Plus product and taking these greens. If you just do these 2 to get started, your energy levels are going to pick up. You're going to start feeling lighter. You're going to feel less bloated. You're going to feel less gas. You're going to feel better. Your bowel movements are going to start increasing in frequency. Your stools are going to be softer. You're going to notice this, and you're going to start having the energy to want to go move the body. And believe me, you need to do it. Otherwise, the lymphatic system, if it's not moving, all these toxins are going to be like a log jam, and it's not going to feel good because you're going to have these detox symptoms, the night sweats, the fatigue, the irritability, the rashes. All this stuff can be sped up by taking good care of your lymphatic system. And again, it's really easy. It's just drinking tons of water and then moving the body. So when you start to move the body, what are the best things to do for movement? Well, in the beginning, for most people, because I know most people aren't exercising very much or they aren't exercising at all, we want to start with baby steps. We just want you to go out and go for a walk around the block. That's it. That habit is going to be more important than how far you go. You can't just go run a marathon the first day, nor maybe do you ever want to. But you have to move your body. You have to pump that lymphatic system. And walking, one of the best exercises or movements that you can do. So I know a lot of people have gym memberships, but they don't go use them very much. And the reason why is because you got to drive 30 minutes to get there, and you kill yourself for 2 hours, and then you drive 30 minutes back, and then you wake up the next morning and you're so sore and you're like, I'm hell with that. I'm never going to do it again, until you reach threshold down the road and you're overweight again or whatever, and you're not feeling good about yourself. So rather than making it some burden, you want to focus more on the habit of movement rather than how much you do. So if you can just say, hey, look, tomorrow morning, I'm just going to put on my shoes and I'm going to walk around the block. That's it. Nothing else. Easy. You're going to say, yeah, I can do that. And what you're going to find is after you get out there and you start moving, you're going to feel better. You might walk 2 blocks or 3 blocks or 5 blocks or 4 blocks. But if you only walk 1 block, mission accomplished. Again, the habit is more important than how far you go. That is so super critical to this. Now, the other thing that we recommend is a mini trampoline. Mini trampolines are fantastic because you're bouncing on that thing and it creates a lot of G-force. That's going to stimulate your lymphatic system like crazy. It's going to stimulate your blood, and it's going to help move that garbage and detox and get that waste out of your system much faster. So walking and mini trampoline. And those mini trampolines today, they actually have them where they have bars on them and handles for people that are older, or maybe you've got some equilibrium problems. Maybe you're rehabilitating after an accident. Fantastic. With the bar, you can hold on to it and you can bounce. And if you don't have the money for a mini trampoline, you can just stand there and just start bouncing kind of bend your knees a little bit and bounce your hips. This is like an exercise that's done in a lot of ancient movement exercises, like with Qigong. So you just bounce, and you bounce your shoulders, and you bounce your elbows, and you're bouncing your hips. You just do that for 1 minute, 30 seconds. Maybe work your way up to 5 minutes. And then that's it. You can get some stimulation there. And more importantly, you can move that lymphatic system to help get all this toxic waste that's coming out of your body as you're starting to drink more water, take these products, and eat more fruits and veggies. So the last thing that you can do that's very inexpensive to get the lymphatic system moving is called dry brushing. And it is what it is. There's these brushes, and they're about $10 to $20, and you can look it up online, dry brushing. And your lymphatic system, what you do is you just gently dry brush yourself, and you always want to have everything moving towards your heart. So you do your head, your neck, your shoulders, and you always want to work everything up your legs, and you move that, and you stimulate the lymphatic system with the dry brush. You don't get in the shower and do it. It's dry brushing only, and it's not hard. It's just a gentle, light stimulation to get your lymphatic system moving. It's really important. In fact, I learned about that when I was at the Hippocrates Health Institute, because my friend who had cancer, he had what was called chronic CLL, chronic lymphotic I can't even say it. He had a blood cancer, and they recommended dry brushing to him because in his cancer situation, the white blood cells would be stacking up in his lymph nodes, part of that lymph system. And so dry brushing was really important to help him to keep that moving and to get it out. So dry brushing is really important. Another thing you can do, I guess, as a bonus is you can go get what's called massage or lymphatic massage. It's not going to be like a deep massage, but it's more of just stimulating the lymph and getting it moving. Now, for those of you that might be in a hospital for a long time, if you're in bed and you're bedridden and you can't move, somebody needs to be massaging you every single day. Massage is not a luxury anymore. It's a necessity with the amount of pollution and toxin we have today. I highly recommend people get massages, but if you're bedridden, it's so important because your garbage removal system is not moving. It needs to be stimulated, and a nice lymphatic massage, a regular massage, is going to do that. So I hope these tips helped you guys today. Really excited to share with you about daily detoxing. Detoxing doesn't have to be some crazy thing. You don't have to think about cleansing or detoxing as having lots of diarrhea. It doesn't have to be any of that at all. It's simply just, hydrating the body, using a few things to help the body assist in the removal of these toxins, and then moving the body through basic exercises, through walking or mini trampoline or getting a massage to help push this stuff out. And again, because we live in a polluted fishbowl today in our environment and all the household stuff that's got toxins in it, it's important that, and it works out much better to do a daily detox and basically get these things into your lifestyle one by one so that you're just detoxing every day. For me, I'm detoxing every day now because I know that stuff's coming in, so I'm always trying to keep it out. Just keep the flow going. Lots of liquids, lots of stuff. Cleansing products, keep moving the body. And I can tell you at age 46, I feel better than I felt in years. I feel like I'm 19. And when I was 37 years old, that was not the case. I was fat, I was tired, was not feeling good, skin issues, gut issues, acid indigestion, had to have an organ removed. I was, on a cliff basically with my health. And who knows how it would have been today if I wouldn't have learned about the power of the daily detox. Don't make this hard. Make it simple. Just start off with some water. Check us out at chemicalfreebody.com. That's where you can pick up the Gut Cleanse Plus, the greens, and the Critical Cleanse. That also comes in a bundle called I think it's called the Super Cleanse Bundle. There's some savings bundles in there. So check us out there. And then for those of you that are interested in getting coached, would you like some private coaching? We'd like to help you. We also offer a free 30-minute coaching session. It's a $97 value. Just go to chemicalfreebody.com, click on the coaching tab, and you can just get right into my calendar. And as soon as you do, a link will appear that says complete men's health history or complete the woman's health history. Click the one that's appropriate. It's an online form. You submit it. Takes you about 15 minutes. And we'd be happy to sit down with you and help you address any health goals or concerns you have to help you have your ideal life and have your ideal health. So really appreciate you guys stopping by today. Thanks for tuning in to the Health Hero Show with Tim James. And as always, remember, change yourself, change the world, and I will see you again in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh yeah, it's time, Health Hero, to jumpstart your energy and burn that fat with the simplest, healthiest, most badass detox and nutrition system on the planet. Grab your Jumpstart bundle today at chemicalfreebody.com/health hero.